With this setup right here, we can do over 1,000 units a day out of our garage. I'll walk you through all the equipment that we use, and I'll show you where you can get equipment very similar to this. And it only cost us $600 to get it set up. Let me show you how it works. Like all manufacturing jobs, everything starts with a giant drum of raw materials. This is a 55-gallon drum that we get raw materials in, and these are 15 and 35-gallon drums that we store the material in. So once it gets mixed up, we end up putting it in here. But how do we mix it, you might ask? 5-gallon buckets and a drill press. Let me show you. This bad boy right here is an old school Harbor Freight drill press. I put one of these mixing bits in here and chucked it up so I can put a 5-gallon bucket on the stand, chuck in the mixing bit, and turn it on to get my stuff mixed up like that. Can you tell I've been trying to figure this stuff out for years? It works. Once everything's mixed up on the drill press, we dump it all in the storage tank so that it can be pumped out by our piston filler. Let me show you how that works. This is a pneumatic piston filler. It's kind of like a giant syringe. This is the intake hose. We shove it into the barrel of the Maker's Magic, and it pumps it all the way through this machine, out this head, into an empty jar. This is the intake hose. It comes into this junction, and there is a one-way valve right here and a one-way valve right here. This piston in this cylinder goes back and forth, and it pulls and then pushes. So once that's done, it dispenses right out of this head right here. You can set it by moving this magnetic switch back and forth to control the volume. This piston filler needs two things to operate. It needs power and air. We've got the power cord coming down from the ceiling, so ignore the yellow wire, you know how power works. But what's important is the pneumatics. We filled this thing up with oil so that it lubricates the system, very important for pneumatic tools. But if we trace this blue wire, it comes all the way here to a pneumatic connection. If we trace the red hose, it goes all the way up here to the regulator. Then we trace the orange hose and it comes all the way down to the air compressor right here. This is a really simple 15-gallon, 1.6 horse air compressor. You can use literally any air compressor you need for this type of work. But this is what powers the tool. Really great for repetitive tasks, and it's much more efficient in my opinion. We've got this giant box of empty jars. They come in boxes of 350. They're 8-ounce plastic jars. We get them from Uline. I'm sure there's cheaper, better places to get this stuff from, but just where we're getting it right now. And we also have a giant box of lids. The jars and lids are important because this is what holds our stuff. Let me show you how we fill it up. Once we come over to the piston, we'll place an empty jar underneath the head of the piston filler and press the button. That will dispense the perfect amount of fluid. But a full jar without a lid is not good enough. We then grab one of these, and this is a lid with an induction seal in it. We just simply tighten it up and then come over here to the induction sealer so we can put that really nice foil seal on it. This machine right here cost us about 115 bucks, and we got it from Vivor. We wanted a way to seal these foil lids so that we wouldn't have anything leak out when we were shipping stuff. It's really simple. You just turn it on, put it on top of the lid, press the button, and it's done. We now have a foil seal. What's really cool about this is that there's a thin layer of wax on the other side of this foil. And this induction sealer only heats up the metal. And when the metal gets heated up because of the inductive current, it melts the wax and creates a seal right here. Really cool stuff. Now we have something that won't leak. But after it's sealed, it's not done yet. We have to label it. This right here is our label roller. This is the MT30. However, I've looked for them online and I can't really find many of them with this arm on the top. This is the special stuff right here. Without this arm, it kind of doesn't work as well. So I would try to find one with this arm. At least look for an MT30 maybe on eBay or Vivor or even Amazon. I think you might be able to find them either used or new. But this arm is crucial because when you put the jar right here, you need something to keep pressure on it. You can see our labels are on a 3-inch core and they're set up on the back of the machine. The label gets fed through all of these little gizmos to get it in just the right spot. Then when we're ready, we take the jar, we place it here, pull the arm down and crank the crank. And there you have it, a labeled jar of finished product. So these labels come on giant rolls just like this. You'll see that there's a pretty big circle right here, and this is called the core. These labels are printed on a 3-inch core, which is really standard for this type of label. Just about every label machine will be able to accept something like this. I've chosen to have them printed no less than 500 labels on a roll, because if we go any bigger, they're too big for this tiny label roller. But I've seen rolls as big as people, 3, 4, 5 feet in diameter. You can get them printed in all shapes and sizes. Yeah, and you can even do cool stuff like foil and holographics and all that fun stuff. I get my labels printed from Stark, They are a fantastic company. It doesn't really matter what you're filling. If this is something that you need, it can be incredibly helpful. Once these jars are complete, we pack them all out in cardboard boxes called master cases. Our master cases hold 72 units each, and they're just under 50 pounds, so we don't break any rules with the shipping companies. And that's the entire process. That's how we make our Maker's Magic, which is a craft glue and a sealer. Now you might be curious, who am I and why am I doing this in my garage? My name's Evan and I'm the owner of Scorch Marker. We sell arts and craft supplies. Our mission is to make crafting easier. So we invent and develop products that make crafting easier. We started with this product right here. This is our Scorch Marker. My wife and I invented this marker in my mom's garage. I was working at the fire department, I had a wood shop, and it was my job to build the plaque to commemorate the whole experience. Well, I made the plaque, but when it came time to burn our motto into the wood, I screwed the entire thing up. It was a mess. In fact, I had to start the whole project over. But my wife and I put our heads together, we started scouring the internet, and we figured out that there would be a way to do it chemically if we could just figure it out and crack the code. So we started mixing up a bunch of chemicals together. I know, sounds sketchy, but we pulled it off. We created a wood-burning liquid. Put this liquid on wood, you heat it up with a heat gun, and it will burn your design directly into the wood. It was exactly what I needed to finish my project. That was the beginning of our company. That was in January of 2018. Fast forward to today, and we're selling hundreds of thousands of units. We're a business that does millions of dollars in sales. We sell on Amazon, directly through our Shopify website. Our products are in retailers like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and just now, Walmart. TikTok Shop's been a new one for us, but we're having great results and it's actually our most profitable channel. But the reason I bring that up is because I had no idea where this business would go. So if you were to tell me back then what I'd be doing now, I'd tell you you're crazy. The difference between the day one and now is time. We've just been practicing for years and getting our reps in and doing the best that we can. In the beginning of our business, I was making Scorch Marker liquid and filling up every single marker by hand with a syringe. It was crazy, but it's the only way I knew how to do it. So of course, when it came time to launch Maker's Magic, we got this small scale production line set up in the garage so that we could be quick, speedy, iterate quickly, and not spend a ton of money getting set up. I was able to produce about 10,000 units before the co-packer was able to get everything put together and start producing units for us. Now they do about 20 to 50,000 units a month for us, and I don't have to do any of this. But in the beginning, it was absolutely crucial. Had I not purchased this equipment and gotten my hands dirty, we might not be here. This whole setup here that I showed you is not intended to last forever. It was just a temporary solution, and for $600, I think it was absolutely worth it. I'll leave links in the description for you so you can check everything out and get this stuff for yourself if you want it. But if you're anything like me, you're also selling a product online. I think back to when we started and man, I was lonely. My mission in life is to do meaningful work with meaningful people and to create as much abundance and opportunity as possible. And I don't want to do it alone. That's why I make videos like this, so you know that people like me exist. And when you're ready, you can join me. You can come hang out in my membership, you can hang out with my people, you can hang out with me, we can grow and we can learn together. That's what it's all about. Meaningful work, meaningful people. If you have any questions or you're interested in some of that stuff, you'll find links in the description, or you can DM me on Instagram. I love meeting new people and making friends, regardless of the stage of business that you're at. If I can help you in any way, I absolutely will. Thank you for watching. Be good to future you.